Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for? I watch people get stuck and frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck and frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
And just to get us to know each other a little bit better and start off the fun. I'll just start calling you guys from top to bottom on my screen. Barbara, you're actually in the top corner, so love to hear all about you.
Hey, I'm Barb Maynard. I am out in California in the beautiful Eastern Sierras, and I'm kind of new to the Unblinded community, but I've just launched an app that will sort of engage and inspire people to take action to make their communities a better place. And we went live on Labor Day. So I am, let's see, a fun fact about me. A fun fact would be that I'm sitting here and looking out on about 1.5 or 2 feet of fresh new snow that's covered the pine trees out my window. And I really don't want to be inside. I want to go outside and play.
I hear that.
That's the voice of Barbara?
Yes, it is, Sean.
What's up, Barb? How are you?
Good. It snowed, man. You got to get out here.
Go. Let's go.
All right.
How much you get, Barb?
We got about 1.5 feet over the weekend, and there's 2 more storms coming in back to back. So unless COVID screws us up, we're going to open Saturday.
And which resort are you closest to?
Mammoth.
Awesome. Let's go, Barb.
So
thank you.
Sean's ready to jump from the sun right into the snow.
Craig, how are you, brother?
I'm amazing, Sean. How are you? I didn't expect you coming on today. I was told you weren't. So I'm glad to have you.
I love you
so much.
We're here to step up and deliver no matter how exhausted we are, how much craziness is going on, whatever's happened, we're doing our best always, all of us. Like you, brother. Love you, Craig. I'm so thankful for you doing this. And yeah. Well, by the way, what's a fun fact for you, Craig?
What's a fun fact for me? I guess I could go with the fact that I want to be outside too. And I definitely want to be with Sean on the spiritual trip right now. And where Sean and I met was on quite a spiritual trip. And at the same time was how we met was he invited me in to watch him get a massage for 1.5 hours and described to me what this world is really about, because I was looking to connect and be in proximity to people like him. And he allowed me the opportunity to be part of this amazing ecosystem. And my life has been changed ever since. So I'm grateful for that.
Love you, brother. My version of that reality is that Craig on this amazing spiritual trip was like, hey, I want to connect and talk. I'm like, brother, we got no time for those, but I know it's a little weird, but if you want to come in and hang out and talk while I get a massage, you're more than welcome to. And so Craig, now the weird part was when Craig started trying to massage me. And I'm like, this was not like an interactive experience.
I was about to say that Sean is telling truth. I was about to add in that Sean always got to drop the truth, but all right.
So thank you, brother. So, and thanks for all you fine folks for being here. Yeah, let's have another fine guest drop in, and then I'll maybe share for a minute in a couple minutes, but let's let other people take some space. So back to you, Craig.
We got Cool Kelvin Joseph right up on top. Come on,
cool name. That's a cool name.
That's a very cool name.
I love all the positivity and all the positive energy going on here. I really believe that we have to make friends before we need anything.
Yes, sir.
And I know one thing that we always do, we think big, but we got to follow through on our promises. And one of the things I've been learning is it's important for our humility to exceed our great ability. And some of you, that's going to be hard because you're so good. I'm happy to be here with you all. I'm a B2B marketing strategist. I basically help companies attract customers instead of chasing them. I'm very much a relationship person. I've done a lot of things in my career that I'll be embarrassed to talk about, but I have some accomplishments that I won't bore you with, but at the end of the day, I'm very good at helping people get more C-level attention and more clients and things of that nature.
Calvin, bore us. I want to hear it.
Yes.
Brother, this is about stepping into your greatness.
Well,
so and by the way, there's a difference between, to me, humility and modesty. I think
Yeah.
humility is a virtue and modesty is a sin. To me, the difference is modesty is a distortion, not letting us know your greatness. What I heard from you, right? I'm being honest. Now I'm in 5 wide, Craig, I'm in 5 wide receiver set mode.
Yeah.
I'm in high love for people, and high love for people means truth. You sound like an awesome person. And I was super excited to hear what you had to say. And I still am super excited, right? Because I get these distinctions don't reveal truth. Like I understand that how people represent who and what they are is not an accurate depiction of who and what they are. But the world's running around in microseconds making a decision. Hey, is that a person I see my future in like nanoseconds? So drop in, brother. Tell us something amazing about you or something you're really proud of. Like give us some no modesty, you gave us the humility, now give us the facts of your greatness, please.
Okay. Well, I was one of the top 30 entrepreneurs under 30 the same year as Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, come on, dude. How do you not say that? How do you not say that?
I've done over $250 million in sports marketing deals, and I know almost every athlete on.
All right, you ready? Here's the deal. Here's the truth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right, exactly. Here's the truth. Right. You know how many people say they're in marketing? How many people say they're in coaching? How many people say they're in lawyering? How many people say they're in accounting? And it's like, okay, like another whatever. You say that and what you started with, where you started, and then add that in, listen, I want to brag, whatever. And it's like, dude, I want to talk. It's like, who's this man? So that's from me to you today. And you can say I'm nuts or whatever, but brother, that is amazing. Congratulations. I'm sure you have 97,000 other stories, but you say those 2 things. And everybody here, fact check me. Somebody jump in, even if you haven't been introduced yet. Do you feel, it's Kelvin, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you feel different about Kelvin now with those 2 facts than if you just stopped with what he said before?
Yes. 100% different.
Yeah.
100% different.
You see that, Kelvin?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, brother. So, and how about a fun fact, man? What's a fun fact besides that you're a rock star?
The fun fact is that I've discovered during the pandemic that my family values my ability to cook a meal more than my ability to earn money.
That is a fun fact. Welcome, Kelvin. Craig, you agree, Craig, with Kelvin and him dropping his greatness?
I was going to drop a tidbit of it if he didn't. So yes, I definitely agree with him.
Awesome. Well, and Craig, how about your greatness?
My greatness.
Talk to it, man.
My greatness starts off with the fact that I am a husband to an amazing woman and a father of 3 phenomenal kids. They are definitely my legacy and my why every single day. And the opportunities that I've had during COVID is that I started my business full-time March 1st of this year and have had the most success I've ever had in business since July, starting in July of this year. And that was simply helping companies with massive missions and greatness purposes to the world, all accelerating their outreach and expansion. So that was my gift to my family and my wife.
Awesome job, bud. Back to you, Craig. Let's get it with some guests.
Okay. Well, it says Jessica Lee, but his name is Jeff Ackerman, and I got him over here. He's muted. You're muted.
Better? Could you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. I'm having a little hiccup with computers working on it. So it might see me on 2 screens. I apologize.
Yeah.
All right, much better now. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Who are you, Jeff?
Come on in, Jeff. Who are you? What are you up to in the world?
Okay, now, good, perfect.
We got you.
Okay, so my name is Jeff Ackerman. I'm an architect out of New York City. We have offices both in New York and New Jersey. And we focus on apartment renovations as well as large new buildings, as well as office buildings. Our goal is to open up offices throughout throughout the United States. One of our goals, we feel that architecture has a big issue that it's based on personal relationships. So the larger companies that they lose a lot of that aspect. So our goal is to open up multiple small offices in the comparison to what I would call franchise concept, where we'll have local representation as well as national representation. So we'll be able to open up that. So we already have a New York office, New Jersey office, doing work in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, and New Jersey.
Awesome job, dude. How about a fun fact, brother?
Fun fact, I love building Lego. I collect all the architectural Lego sets. I have every single one and always looking for more of them. It's a great hobby on the side.
What's your favorite Lego you ever built?
My favorite Lego I ever built. That's a good question. When I was a little kid, I used to build these. I used to take apart these moonscape ones. We would build our own city of it. It would be awesome. So we broke it down the next day, or a kid or my brother fell on it or something like that.
That's awesome. Little fun fact for me, Craig, everybody. One of the greatest, I've had privileges to do amazing things in my life with my children, scuba diving with sharks, skiing all over the world. But one of the most magical months of my life was when we built like 1,000-piece Lego set in a Star Wars ship. It was just awesome. Like, going through it all, the frustrations, the challenges, the quiet, the happiness, it was just amazing. So thanks for sharing that, Jeff.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you, Sean.
Can I jump in for a sec and
Just
give a little bit of what this is and
Please.
kind of So and then I'm going to turn it back to your amazingness. We got the folks here.
Yeah.
Can I take 3 minutes or no? 2 minutes?
He's got a plane to catch. He just needs
2 seconds. All right. So we could do on my fun fact is I'm going to get a swab stuck up my nose. So I'll be right back. Next person.
We got Monique right next to us. What's going on, Monique? How are you? Welcome.
Hey,
Who are you?
how
What
do
do
you guys
in the world?
do?
What's some more fun fact besides the pessimism to optimism side of it?
Okay, I've been a recruiter for 15 years in the corporate side, mostly with startup and scaling companies. I started my business 2 years ago when I hired over 150 people in 2 months, and I did that all with executive and board members. I realized two things when I did that. One, there was a huge lack of diversity amongst board members here in the startup tech realm. And I also learned that if I could hire those amount of people, think about the impact that I could be making with more companies. So what I did is I left that organization to start my own. Fun fact about me is I've actually done more hiring and more training that I've ever done in these last 2 years than my whole 15 years in my career, as well as I've hired some really big players on a lot of executive teams and board members that all came to me for one main reason. One, I'm a holistic recruiter, so I lead you to your purpose. I don't find you a job. I find exactly what you're actually supposed to be born to do in this world. It's been a trait and something I've done my whole life. It just took me a long time to start listening to my divine self to realize that is what I'm truly supposed to be doing. And then one fun fact about me is my dad's a private chef and I can cook and bake and make anything. So you show it to me once, I can create it.
Awesome. Craig, is that some energy or what, man?
I love it. I love it. You missed her whole reform story that she started before you.
Oh, no, I didn't. I was listening with things up my nose. I was listening. Right. I was one, two people. That's all. Yeah. Amazing.
Definitely.
All right. So awesome job. Really quickly. And then I want to keep time integrity, keep rocking, and I'm going to turn this over to you, Craig, and your amazingness. So, hey, my name is Sean Callagher. This is the Real Raw. This is the greatest experiential marketing hack in the past decade. And people continue to find out about it consistently. You go, why marketing hack? Well, marketing is all about getting our messaging out to people, from us to others. What this does is it causes openness of listening through its format for a whole bunch of different reasons, rooted in the science of integrous influence. And it is integrous. There's no manipulation. There's no funnel. There's no nothing. I'm not saying funnels are manipulative. There's no manipulation, right? This isn't a trap. This isn't bait and click. This is like, come here, meet cool people, open listening, and create acceleration amongst everybody while dropping on the integrous sides of influence. I've been studying this for 23 years when I learned that influence is what creates people's money, time, and magic, with no background or understanding of that, despite going to Ivy League University and graduating law school with honors. And now I have the unique privilege of having my side hustle be owning a 125-person law firm, having 2 top 100 national jury verdicts with the one and only Michael Smike, and I think heard somewhere his laughter in the ether, who's as great a trial lawyer as exists in America, until I like dust off the suit. I'm just kidding, Michael, but not. You can hear what I just said. So and I'm a co-founder of Unblinded, creating massive acceleration, also partnered with Michael and HitX and other ventures. And my fun fact is I just had the unique privilege of having a mentor, teacher of mine, a hero of mine, and I use the word hero advisedly, a hero of mine. And what I represent by hero is people you want to model how they show up and live their life. Maybe not perfect, nobody is, right? But you want to model an extraordinary amount of things about them in front of a whole amazing room full of people in the middle of an intervention in coaching. Just call me out of nowhere, call me up with purpose and intention and say, Sean, let's co-create in this intervention, and then acknowledge me for my life in front of the entire room in complete shock in a way I've never seen before. And so I'm not even saying the name, right? For out of just like keeping that whole and holistic. I'm still digesting what I'll say about it going forward, but it was a dream come true. And and it's not even about me. It's about this formula and what we're doing here in dynamics where my acceleration began in pitch offs, influence offs. We don't use the word hook, pitch, close, but a dynamic like this to expose people to your greatness, and 97 steps from that moment forward, because the integrous system of integrity-based human influence and what to do with it. Craig, I love you, brother. I love all you guys. It's an amazing day. And another fun fact is it's freezing in Arizona right now, and I'm cold, and I got to go get a sweatshirt on, turn it back to you, Craig, and eat some pizza and find out, that all is good in the world. I'll talk to you in a little bit, brother.
Awesome, Sean. Thank you so much for coming. We'll
Right,
speak.
thank you. Talk to you in a bit.
Have a great trip. Okay, we got right under us. We got Ken Van Loo, master of the high rises. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, Greg. Thanks for asking me to be on today.
Thank you for coming, man.
Really
Let us
appreciate
know,
it.
what are you up to in the world, and some extra fun facts about you.
Yeah, just marketing my new book, Modern Wealth Building Formula: How to Master Real Estate Investing. Really excited that launched and hit #1 earlier in the year, and get some digital programs coming out around that. My background is I built skyscrapers in New York City for 25 years, and just enjoying life now, doing some major developments in New York City. We just recently bought 20 acres, and we're developing a CVS and office complex. We're in conversations with an NHL star who may want to put some bubbles on it. And then we have another large project in North Jersey where we're doing some residential and self-storage, just having a lot of fun. And that's what I'm up to. Have a family, 3 kids. The nest just got empty. My daughter got married, and real excited. So welcome aboard, everybody.
That's awesome. Ken, a fun fact?
I am a magician, and I have performed close-up magic in the Magic Castle in California.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome, Ken. That's awesome, Ken. We love seeing your magic too, in every aspect, brother.
Thanks.
You got Dylan Del Rosso. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, Craig. How's it going, everybody? Good to be here. Thanks for the invite. It's my first time being in this community, so excited to be here. A little background on me. I just started a new job as the VP of North Regional Sales for Success Communications Group, which is a full-service advertising and PR agency here in Morris County, New Jersey. Spent the entirety of my career before this selling in the world of sports, both on the collegiate side at the University of Maryland and also professionally on the B2B side with the New York Jets. So excited to be here. A bit of a fun fact for me. So I was less nervous about the whole concept here and way more worried about getting a good fun fact. So I'll try and give it to you. So I want to share with you guys 2 very odd, unlikely things that happened to me recently. Also, because 2's better than 1, and I'd be silly not to take advantage of my spotlight here. Fun fact, I've broken the same front tooth, this one here, 3 times in the last 8 years. 2 of those times on a piece of bacon, and 1 of those times 6 days before my wedding. 1 hour after, to cool off and blow off some steam, I told my now wife, then fiance, that I'm going on her jet ski, and got a little too cocky on it. And long story short, ended up crashing it into her boathouse. She still married me 6 days later. So that's my fun fact.
I think you need Monique cooking for you next time. That's my suggestion.
Dylan, send pictures or it
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
happen.
wondering how bacon made your teeth hurt. I'm kind of scared. Yeah,
I'm telling
next time just put it in the oven.
I'm telling you, it was crispy bacon. Wasn't my idea. I got pictures to show. I'll send them after.
Yes, please.
We'll definitely take it for sure. Hey, Lucianne, how are you? You just came in. We're just finishing up the intros over here. Nancy Benitez, please share with us some of your greatness.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. I'm so excited. So Nancy Benitez, and I live here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida, paradise. And I am passionate about helping single entrepreneurs really step into their value as a person, as a man. And I help them tap into the secrets of the feminine mind and help them learn how to attract their perfect partner. And so it's my last part of my journey. I've been a coach for probably like 12 years, and I've coached people from eating disorders to children, have hosted classes at the YMCA, in schools, my daughter's school. I have an 11-year-old. So this is the last piece of my journey, is really helping men understand us women and helping them have a voice and really understanding and having better relationships. Because, we're complicated creatures, so they need a code. So that's what I do. A fun fact about me, I love hats. I probably have about 80 of them. And it's kind of my signature thing. So, and I'm working on a hat brand. So, yeah.
That's awesome, Nancy. Thank you. That's great. I'm sure every man here would definitely agree that we need a roadmap to understand anything for sure. Terry Watkins, how are you? We're hearing from you in the chat. I would love to hear about your greatness out loud.
Afternoon, everybody. Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate it. I appreciate the invite today, and it's nice to make new friends. I'm a firm believer in what Elon Musk said recently: make friends, not enemies. He had a post published about him in one of the magazines that I read over the weekend, and he and Volkswagen are potentially doing some work together that they're not announcing publicly yet. So there's that. I am Terry Watkins. I am a forensic marketer and marketing translator for small business owners. And what I do is I focus on helping them create marketing concepts and ideas that help them increase their return on investment and their impact, so that they can reach the goals that they have for themselves and for their teams and for their organizations as a whole. And as a forensic holistic marketer, I focus on everything from your traditional marketing to when was the last time you updated the carpet in your space, to how are you answering the phone, and your digital stuff. Because if they're not all in sync, you're sending the wrong message. So I help those small business owners catch the ideas that stick. Fun fact, I've been in business since June of 2017. I've been able to help hundreds of businesses increase their revenue anywhere from 10% to 1,200% in just 1 year. It all comes down to having effective strategy, and that's what I do. And the fun fact about me is I really love bike riding. We bike ride at least 3 or 4 times a week, just anywhere, all around. And we've really enjoyed the colors down here this fall and have gotten a chance to experience them instead of fall whizzing by us and us going, wait, where did fall go? We actually got to see them this year because we've been out biking every day. So
That's awesome, Terry. Thank you so much. And I love hearing about the bike ride stories for sure, because I miss them sitting in Queens over here. Michael Smikin, what's going on, brother? Thank you.
Hey, man. How are you doing?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm good.
Sean gave you a little bit of an entryway, but please.
I know, right? It's like kind of weird for him to introduce me. So Michael Smikin, I am a partner in Callaghy Law. Sean Callaghy, who you guys met not 15 minutes ago, is my partner. We've been working together for going on 12 years now. I manage the entirety of his commercial litigation practice group, his business transaction practice group. We're also partners in a new business called Fit to Exit. I lead a team of relentless guardians that are fundamentally changing how clients feel about their lawyers, one client at a time, through our caring, urgency, and aggression. As Sean said, we have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, and every day we go out, we try to make as big an impact as humanly possible in our clients' lives. So fun fact about me. So Craig ended up inside of a room with Sean while Sean was getting a massage. And that was fun enough. But I actually, during the second of our 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, had to share an apartment with Sean for a month, you know? And so just imagine this, Craig. Imagine having to spend an entire month in very close quarters with that guy. You can imagine what my life was like. So that's my fun fact. And just by way of background, you know, married, have 2 amazing kids, including a little pre-COVID baby who's 9 months old, and my little 4-year-old. And it has been such a blessing not having to fly all over the country because I practice on a national level, and just being able to stay home and watch them grow up and watch, you know, the little one crawl around and stuff. So that's where I've been spending most of my energy.
That's awesome, Mike. And just for a little bit of optics, I asked for 10 minutes and I got an hour and a half. I can't imagine what it was like spending the whole month over there. Anyway, and last but definitely not least, Lucienne Sarafovic, thank you so much for coming on. Also last minute, but I'm really grateful that you got the opportunity to join in here. Please share 30 seconds, your greatness and all the value you add to the world, or at least a little bit of it, and a fun fact.
Thank you so much. Well, a lot of familiar faces here. I feel like I'm reuniting with my family. So my name is Luciane Sarafovic, originally from Brazil. I own the first virtual luxury real estate company in the world, but based here out of New York. Actually, this call is from Queens. I'm your neighbor. I'm in Queens as well. So my company is primarily focused on helping high net worth individuals and sports and entertainment clients. And there's a reason for that, but we don't have enough time to go into it. A fun fact is that I am a North American champion bodybuilder, and I did that as a hobby. But I love fitness. That's kind of a fun fact. Most people don't realize, wait a minute, you're a CEO, own a company, and also did bodybuilding. That's kind of unusual. So that kind of sets me apart.
It definitely sets you apart, Luciana. Much for sure. Definitely not going into any competitions with you anytime soon. Again, guys, thank you so much, everybody. I believe that was everybody who shared, everybody that's on here. As we said before, I really, really appreciate every one of you for taking the time out of your day, especially on a Monday afternoon, to come here and experience this community and this call and see what it's all about. As I explained to you on the phone and a little bit in the messages, this is really just, as Sean spoke about, the idea of gaining an experience of what influence looks like in an integrous, heart-centered way. We want to be able to go from hello to yes in 3 minutes, whatever that yes could possibly be. I'm going to be a role player. You tell me who you want to be talking to, or who you would like to talk to anytime in the future, and just go from an introduction, a ring, pick up the phone and start talking, to a yes, a further conversation, or some people go for the sale in 3 minutes. It's all up to you, how you do it, what you do, and it's all about how you're connecting to the person in front of you. And it's really all in fun. So nobody's wrong. There's no wrong way to do anything. It's really just showing off the greatness that you just expressed to us in these 30 seconds. It's just letting the rest of us experience it in real time. So if we want to get into it, I'm hoping that one of the judges can keep time for me. Is that possible? Is anybody able to do that for me? Yeah, I can. You could do that.
Who are the judges?
I can be the timekeeper.
I'm a judge, but I don't have my phone, so I can't keep time. It's in the other room.
Okay. You could do it for me, Ken? You keep freezing up.
Don't trust him.
I know, that's what I'm holding on over here.
I can do it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So just let me know when maybe I gotta call in like a minute, 45 seconds, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't trust Ken. I got this. So it's Craig, it's 3 minutes, and then at 1:45, you want me to tell you?
No, at either a minute or 45 seconds, somewhere in that time.
Got it.
Just
Okay, I got it. I got it.
knows that the time is coming down. And obviously want to try to cut in time integrity. We want everybody to make sure that they only have these 90 minutes. We are going to be finishing by 3:30. We should have more than enough time to do so, as well as have some distinctions. Judges will jump in for 30 seconds each. And also I request that the judges keep that time integrity as well, just so we make sure that everybody gets their opportunity to present and be a part of this experience. So if nothing else, I would love to go first. And again, I'm going to go through a screen. Everybody keeps switching around on my screen. And Nancy Benitez, you are up first. So I would love to know who you want me to be in whatever capacity, and set it up and we'll get on our way.
Oh, goodness. I'm so not ready. That's why I'm here, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you can be you're single, entrepreneur, highly successful. You have all the toys, you have all the things, but you still feel like you're missing something. You're missing the love of your life. You've been dating shallow women. So that's who I'd like you to be. Is that good? Oh, you're muted.
I'm muted, and that's perfect for me. Cool Ken loves this setup, I see. So let's jump into it for sure.
Okay, so I just introduced, I'm networking, right?
You want either in person, on a phone, people pick up a phone, go ring, ring, and we start it off, however you want to do it.
Okay, I'll do it in person.
Okay, perfect.
Great. So hi, Craig, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Nancy. How are you?
Good. So what is something that you're passionate about?
What am I passionate about? I love traveling. I love adventure. And I love working and being able to build up my business and my legacy.
So how is dating going for you? I feel that you're single.
I am. I'm in and out relationships here and there. They don't really last too long. I don't spend too much time getting attached to it. I got to spend more time on my business.
So what is your biggest challenge?
When
it comes to women, sorry.
Like I said, I think that it's more about me connecting to my business, to making sure that I'm being successful in what I want to create in the world as far as my business is concerned, and not in the relationship side of it. It's too much muddiness in that area.
So do you feel like a pull towards having someone to connect to every day? You have this successful business, and who do you go home at night? How do you feel at night when you go home and there's no one there?
So sure, I would love to, I guess, have somebody, if that person could fit into to the life that I'm building for myself. But I haven't found anybody that I want to spend all that time with.
So what if I told you that I could help you attract, not just a woman who's out for your money, but who really connects with you and supports you in your business, and you can have fun together. She supports what you do. She has her own business as well, but it's really getting each other and building and cultivating a relationship, so it's not a drag.
So it's not a drag.
1 minute.
I got a call coming up in a minute. Yeah, I guess listen, if it's not a drag and it's not pulling me away from what I want to do, then sure, it would be nice to have somebody around that I can spend more time with, that I would want to spend the time with.
So what if I could help you get there? Would you be interested?
I would be interested in knowing more about it, sure.
So would you get on a call with me?
I guess so. What would it look like to be involved, to go through that process?
So we just get on a call and I'd found out more about what you're looking specifically for in a woman. And then I could tell you about some of the services that I offer to help you get there, and go on dates with you, be your wing girl to help you get through that.
It definitely sounds like it could make things interesting. Yeah, I guess I would like to learn more about it. Sure.
Time.
All right. All right, Nancy. Awesome. Awesome. All right, let's go into the judges. Barb, please, let's hear.
Yeah, Nancy, I thought your energy was really great. And I thought, you tried, he was a tough nut to crack. He wasn't giving you much, was he? Yeah. And, I saw that you kept trying to lead him down. And I think maybe just just more sort of provocative questions to try to pull him out of his shell, because he was a pretty darn good turtle. And you were trying to get him out and he wasn't coming. And at the very end, you pushed him, and he kind of got there to the yes, but he was like still, I would say that was a yes with a high flake factor. Like he'd probably I got to ditch Nancy's call, right? So I give you a 7.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Barb. Michael?
Hey, Nancy. So I thought you did really good. You have a really beautiful, fun energy to you, right? And you were definitely having fun with this, and the nerves were releasing from you in the form of smiles, which is always a good thing, as opposed to shaky voice. There was a magnetism to you, and I wanted to learn more about what you were doing. But I think there was a need for more contrasting of your energy. You're talking about something that is very probably challenging for Craig, right? He has everything, and this is the only nut that he can't crack, essentially. And maybe a little bit more of your goddess energy, a little bit more of your emotions being transported to him, a little bit more of your vocal qualities, using more of your range, probably would have got you a better result for that. I'm with Barb on this. I thought it was a solid attempt at influence. I would give it a 7 as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. Amazing job, Nancy. Terry, you're up. I see you sitting there all nervous, and you are second. Sorry to jump in, but you're there.
Yeah, I do want to, before I say anything, Nancy, I did send you a private message, but so that everybody else can learn too, I would say, even though I'm not one of the judges, what would have helped me if I was on the other end of the call, if I was playing Craig's role in that, is if you had acknowledged his answers. When he was answering your questions, but you didn't acknowledge them, you just immediately jumped right into another question. So it kind of felt like he was being underneath a microscope, having his feelers burnt off, and you weren't really listening. So I would have slowed down in asking the questions so that you could have asked along his train of thought and brought him to your train of thought and maybe connected those dots a little bit better, for what it's worth. Not a judge, but if it helps others.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm good now.
Good. I'm here.
Okay.
Who am I?
You're here. So what I would like you to be, Craig, is a chiropractor who's really concerned about having to face the shutdown again. And you've been really struggling this year to try and keep your doors open because you've been at limited capacity and you just are not sure how to effectively market your business while keeping the regulations of how many people you can have in the practice at any time under consideration. Do you have an assistant that can help you so you're not having to wear all of the hats, but you are trying to make the decision for the practice on the best moves forward for 2021?
Okay.
Cool.
Sure. Sure. Ring. Hello.
Hey there, is this Craig?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Dr. Craig, this is Terry Watkins. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Terry. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Hey, thanks so much for asking. I appreciate that. I know you're super busy, but I'm wondering, do you have just a minute? Is now a good time for us to chat?
Yeah, I have just a few minutes to be able to talk. I have a call coming up. Sure.
Okay, great. Well, I was referred to you actually by my nutritionalist. She just went through a 12-week training program with me, and she thought this might be something you would be interested in. So I wanted to just touch base and see, how's business going? I know it's been a little strange this year.
It has been. It definitely has been, between the shutdowns and closing the office completely and then being able to open up, but not at times. And yeah, definitely a lot going on for sure.
Yeah. Have you been able to consistently get attention in terms of new patients so that you can kind of keep the flow going for your business?
You know what? The focus hasn't even been there really, because it's been trying to keep the availability open for our current patients. And while the flow is there for new patients, we're really closed off as to how many people can come in and what we're able to do.
Yeah, yeah. Have you started thinking about what you're going to do for 2021 and when hopefully all of this craziness is done and we've just got to rebuild our practice?
We've been speaking to people. We've been connecting to a bunch of different people and asking what their ideas could be. That's, yeah, we're confused for sure.
Well, I don't know if Kristen has shared anything about you, or about me with you, but a lot of the time businesses like yours come to find me at Spin Frogs and the work that I do in terms of marketing when they're in that very position where they're at that point where they need to figure out how they're going to fill their funnel for the next year. I work to help them organize their strategy. And would it be helpful for you if you and your team just kind of had a plan of action that would allow you to stay in action mode?
45 seconds.
Definitely would. I do have a call coming up in like less than a minute. I just wanted to, yeah, I guess it definitely would be comforting to know that there was something set in place for sure.
Well, let's do this, Craig. I know you've got to call in just a couple of minutes. Would it make sense for me to book an appointment with your assistant and see if we can get together and just have a three-way conversation about what it could look like?
Yeah, that would be okay. Sure, you can check out what my availability is.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Craig. I so appreciate your time today. And I know Kristen is going to be happy that we got a chance to connect. So I look forward to talking with you more soon.
For sure. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And we're in.
You have 5 seconds left, Terry. Should have used them. Just kidding.
That's all right.
We got Mr. Ken Van Loo.
How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Terry, that was extraordinary. You seem like you're in the formula. So you great rapport building, you eliminated, all the friction. You had reciprocity, could have varied your energies a little bit. You were very fun energy, maybe a little bit more Zeus, but extraordinary job. I'd give you a 0.8.
Thank you.
Awesome. Barb, you want to weigh in here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ken. I thought your energy was great. I thought you softened him up really quickly. It's an easier topic than poor Nancy had, right? It's much easier when it comes to work as opposed to something personal. So you had a little bit of an easier road to hoe there, but I thought it was really good. And I like the way that you just kind of were empathetic towards what his issues were as a business in this world. So I'd give you a 9.
Thank you. Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Terry, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the practice.
It was great. Thank you. I do too, actually. I love this. Dylan, you're up next. You ready to jump in, brother?
Right. Let's do it, Craig. So can you guys hear me okay, first of all?
Yeah.
Amazing. So Craig, here's what I'm thinking. I would love for you to be, are you familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk? You know who that is? All right, good. So I'd love for you to be Gary or somebody of his influence, social media mogul kind of thing, who I kind of got on the hook here through some sort of networking event. And I just wanted to ask him a couple questions. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for it.
Sure. Let's jump in for sure.
All right, Gary, how's it going, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, Dylan. How are you? What's going on, brother?
I am doing well for a Monday. Can't complain. But hey, so Gary, I know we chatted earlier today, and I know you said you'd give me a few minutes of your time. I had an idea I wanted to share with you, and I was hoping to just ask you a couple questions. Does that sound like that would work for you?
Sure, that would be great. I do have to run in a couple minutes, but shoot, let's go.
All right, we'll make this quick. So let me ask you, Gary, you listen to podcasts, right?
A few times a day, yeah.
Okay, good. So you're definitely into it. So what's your favorite podcast? Give me one. Doesn't really matter what it is. What's your favorite?
I love School of Greatness.
Okay, what's it about? Tell me why, like, why is it your favorite? What catches your attention? What makes you tune back in?
You know what? It brings on, Lewis House brings on a lot of people from every different industry and highlights them in a way that really shows their greatness, as well as all their experience and how they got to where they got to. And I love hearing those stories.
Very cool. That's lining up a lot with what I'm getting at here. So here's what I'm doing, Gary. I'm taking advantage of this captive audience we've got here since March with this pandemic, right? Everybody's tuned in. I'm starting a podcast, and the podcast is going to be about the power of networking. Now, everybody has a podcast, everybody and their mother, and I don't. So I'm looking for one to start, and I'm hoping to have some really great guests on. So it's going to showcase the power of networking, a lot of storytelling, connecting, sharing, a give first attitude. So I wanted to ask you, as part of this series I want to create, I want to share stories about, maybe times where individuals had stories of through networking, something funny, educational that you'll never forget. You got something that comes to mind, like a story from networking that, you could share or that you like telling?
I got quite a few stories in my life for sure.
Okay, cool. So, I've gone through this so much where I hear all these crazy stories through networking, and we're going to be asking the big questions with small details. So the only thing is I want to make sure, and I think the biggest issue with podcasts out right now
45 seconds.
You want your audience to be engaged. So what I'm doing before I get this started is I'm going out and I'm asking people who I think my audience is going to be, what would you want to hear from a podcast like this? So what I'm asking you, Gary, is if we could find, 15 minutes, whether it be a brainstorm or just get some of your input on what you would like to see out of a networking podcast like this. And also, if you'd be my second guest. I have a great first guest. Her name's Luciani Sarafovic. And I would just wonder if you'd be interested in being guest too, if this is something you're up for.
You know what? I know Luciani, and I got to tell you something. She is absolutely amazing. So I would definitely think about it for sure.
Time's up.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, you're in. Guest two.
I just muted myself. Michael Smikin, what's going on? Please share with us.
Hey, Dylan. So I'm smiling because you're well trained in using, influence and your Zeus energy and understanding, the power of asking questions. That is clear, and that comes through in your congruence. It comes through in your confidence. But I will say this. So you were great, right? Let me be very clear. You were great, but your flavor is not for everyone. And someone may feel like you were being really aggressive and pushy because you really weren't bearing your energies. In fact, you were filling in most of the answers, the questions with the answers that you wanted to hear, that by asking close-ended questions, I would probably open it up a little bit more. And it's funny because you tell Gary, i.e. Craig, that you want to ask your podcasters a bunch of questions, which you probably should have asked Gary, right? Like, what is it that you're looking for from all of this? Like, how is he going to make his yes decision? Like, what's his pain and how do you become the cure for it? So before jumping right into selling him on being a guest on the podcast, maybe you try to figure out why it is what it is he's trying to accomplish, and why your podcast may be the cure for that. So otherwise, I thought you were tremendous, right? Like, just congruence, power of asking questions, great acknowledgement, but it could come off as a little salesy and a little shticky if you're not using some of the other energies like goddess or aspirational or even a fun energy, right? Very, very in your Zeus. So I would give you a solid 8.5.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good advice.
That's a lot coming from Michael Smikin at 8.5, I got to tell you. So, all right, Ken Van Loo, please share with us.
Dylan, awesome job. Awesome job. Yeah, I thought you were, excellent. A lot of great energy, your business. I agree with Michael. I always ask yourself the question, like, who was talking more in that conversation? I felt you were doing a little bit more of the conversation. I always look at a 2/3 rule. Sean's brought it up. Try to spend, 2/3 of the conversation purely just on rapport building. I noticed a couple times everybody was doing a great job, and then they hit a point of friction. And I believe it was because there was a little bit, more rapport building that could have been done up front. Little less explanation, just short questions, give them a chance, and then lean into their answers and a little bit more matching, right? You want to match, whether they're kinesthetic or not. My kinesthetic phrase is sell, sit down, engage, lower your voice and listen, right? Versus somebody who's audible and visual like myself. Like I get the Italian in me going all the time,
Yeah.
But great job. I'd say 8.5.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much, Dylan. Yeah, amazing job. All right, Jeff Ackerman, what's going on?
Hi, how you doing? Okay.
Great. Who would you like me to be?
We'll see if we get this off.
What happened?
I'm a little nervous about this, but we'll see if we get this off.
I'm sure I have no doubt in your abilities, man.
I'd like you to be a developer that we're trying to potentially talk to regarding potentially doing the architecture for your project. Someone we've met on LinkedIn and we've met before previously, and we're just looking to have a longer conversation.
Sure. Sounds great.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it.
Hi, Craig.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. We met previously on LinkedIn and as well previously in a few different meetings and on different places. And we had conversations previously about you looking for an architect for your next development.
Sure. What's your name again?
Jeff Ackerman.
Oh, hey, how are you? Yes.
So,
what's going on?
Yeah, so last time we met, you had mentioned you were looking for an architect for your project in the Bronx, that new project you were looking to build over there. I wanted to know where you were holding on that search.
We've spoken to a couple of different firms, and we're looking into which direction we're going to go in right now.
So I wanted to possibly bring your attention to our firm that maybe potentially we can potentially have a bid on the project as well. And one of the reasons why we like to have a bid on the project is we're doing a lot of work in the area. We'd love to see another project going up there as well. I know that you've done a previous projects and you have your architects you work with. I want to give you a little bit a snippet about our company and what we could bring to the table versus other architectural firms.
Sure, would love to hear it.
So one of our backgrounds that we have is that we also do our own development, which helps us understand from the developer standpoint, not just the architect standpoint, and how they approach the project. So when the developer looks at a project, they look at the financial models much more than they look at the actual architectural components. And that's a very big factor that we do and we focus on when we do the architecture of the project.
Right. I definitely see how it would be helpful for sure.
So it helps us to understand, helps us to approach the project, and we'll try to maximize the financial gains versus necessarily, sometimes as architects, we get stuck in our space as designers versus actually getting focused on the actual monetary components of it. And that helps us bring that forefront and help us bring it to the light through the developer's eyes versus just the architect's eyes.
Okay.
Is that something that you'd be interested in, something you'd be willing to sit down and discuss?
Yes, it definitely is. What would that further conversation like? What would you need out of me?
So I would love to sit down for a few minutes. I would love to show you some stuff we've done previously. We'll show you how we've actually implemented this type of concept in other projects and how we implement it in our own projects, so you can see the value of that brought to the table that we bring to the table on the architecture side.
Amazing. Yeah, sure. We could definitely set up another call.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Great. I'll have my assistant reach out and set up a time for you, and to your assistant will set up a time that's mutually beneficial to both of us.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay. This is Ken's area of expertise. So I want him to jump in on this one for sure. Ken, what do you think?
I thought that was great, Jeff. You were a little nervous. You definitely by far have something that I would be very interested in, right? I'm a developer, and someone who says what you started to say, which was a little bit confusing, is that you think like a developer and that you bring, an extra, advantage to the table. And the things that I want to hear is, we understand the critical path schedule and how to maintain it and how to value engineer and bring the budget down so that you can meet all your projections to your investors, right? And literally in that one sentence, you could have said it all, right? So for you to even be on the phone with a guy like myself, I would know that you had the credentials or you wouldn't have been able to get on the phone with me. Right? It's
We're losing you, Ken. Ken, your sound is all broken.
Yeah, I'm in a bad connection. Where did I lose you? Hello?
Last thing I heard was a credential. I would have known what your credentials were about to get on the phone with me.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were on the phone, I would have known, about the architecture firm and what you guys do typically. I mean, most architecture firms today, I was getting proposals from 2 architecture firms. There's always meetings, sketches, leads into schematic, conceptual, so most developers know all that kind of stuff. So it's more about the value add, but I thought you did fabulous. Take a deep breath next time, maybe stand up while you're doing it. You'll change your energy a little bit. You did great. So I'd say 8.5.
All right, Barb asked to pass on this one. So Michael, you're up twice in a row. You're muted.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going? So clearly, your business, the types of things that certain people are looking for from what you're trying to do. You had 3 minutes, right? You spent 2.5 minutes of it. And I think the reason why you didn't use, the entirety of your time was you kind of jumped right into talking about who you were. And that may be a little bit of a turnoff to certain people, especially if you start trying to sell them on something before you know what they are actually looking for. So you talked about how your service is unique in that you think like a developer, you do all your development in-house. Now what happens to the person in the line goes, look, the bid that I want has to be the lowest, most inexpensive as humanly possible. That's how I'm making my decisions. The one thing that differentiates you or that you're trying to indicate differentiates you is now, is lost on the person. They don't really care. And then after that, they don't really hear you because you have to establish emotional rapport. You're trying to sell them something they don't hear. Wah, 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 in the words of Sean. So I thought that you were really good. You have really nice energy, super likable. There's a magnetism towards you. But I would really spend more time in asking people questions, getting answers to those questions, really listening, acknowledging, validating those questions, and then trying to drive out from them, trying to get how they make their purchasing decisions before you tell them the decision why your decision or why your product is the best and why they should choose yours. Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair.
Otherwise, you did really good. I'm going to give you an 8. I'm not a high scorer, so don't read into that.
No, he's not. But thank you guys so much. All right. Yeah, no, Jeff, I love the two, and I just want to jump in here very quick. Also, what Mike was saying, there was a couple of times when I tried to give you an in where I wanted you to ask me a question. I wanted you to say, well, what is it that you feel like you're missing most from the bids so far, or the companies that you've spoken to so far? Because that automatically will tell you right away what pain you need to solve and how you can structure your greatness, like Sean says, your heroic unique identity. What is different about you guys? How you can structure that to solve that pain. It's a very simple question. What are you missing to open up to that space? I know it was a little bit harder when Nancy was asking me that question, but I was trying to be somebody that I've never experienced yet. So
yeah, and Jeff, hold on, just 1 sec, Craig, since you gave me the opening, Jeff, the one thing that I think Craig touched upon, and I think he like perfectly leaned up against it, is that when you're asking people questions, you can actually hear the variations in their vocal qualities. So if there's even like a pause or a sigh, or their tone goes up, or they get a little bit more excited and they start speaking faster, they're actually communicating non-verbally the things that they want to talk about. So like if you say, hey, like, what do you think about people who do development in-house? And they go, what do you mean? Their vocal qualities revealed so much about them. Now, if they said, hey, what if I told you we did our development in-house? They go, really? Right? The words that they use, their tone, the vocal qualities, the nonverbals, the leaning in reveals a lot about what they actually want to talk about. And you can't pick that up by talking to them. You can only get it by asking questions and even mirroring back the things that they just said. you know, like even if they said something and you just repeat it to them with like almost like a question, they'll give you more information without having to do very much talking. And then they feel listened to and heard in a way where they just get excited to talk to you because you're such a good quote listener, right? You have to use it in integrity and actually care. I'm not saying you don't, but just sharing that as well. I hope that's of value.
Amazing, Michael. Thank you so much. And as the one person who has spent more time around Sean than anybody else on these calls and anybody else in business to learn this formula and learn what integrity-based human influence really is about and how deep it can go, all the way into massive issues and hitting brick walls in a courtroom. Mike's definitely got that experience down. Cool, Kel. What's going on? Kelvin Joseph, love to hear from you. Who am I? I'm questioning what this one is.
Well, this role is going to be easy for you, or maybe it'll be very difficult. I really want you to be yourself. You know, I want to take this opportunity in 3 minutes to try to help you with your business and see if I can help you grow. Dave Harder introduced us, and glad that you brought me on here to meet all these great people. Really good energy on here. I love being around these kind of people, so thank you for that. But yeah, I want you to be yourself, and let me see if I can help you grow your business.
I'm down. Love both of those, me and my business. I'm good.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
So Craig, this unblinded thing that you're doing it's unbelievable. Like, how do you decide who to pick to come on the show, and how is it helping you with your business?
So, you know, this is actually my first one that I put together on my own, and I started pulling together a few different people that I met on LinkedIn, specifically people that I was impressed with what they were doing, with what their engagement was like, how they were engaging with the LinkedIn community, specifically on their business, and the energy that they put forth in their profile. And by getting on calls with people, I learn a little bit more about them, and possibly and hopefully finding other people to get on to get onto these calls and recognizing how they might be able to create business with each other, following them.
I love that. I love that. So you're like me. So you're like making friends before you need anything.
That is always my plan, for sure.
So just help me understand your business a little bit more, though. Like, how would you describe your target customer, and how do you help your target customer?
So my business is helping business owners, CEOs and owners, to create and solidify their mission, their passion in their business to everybody that works there, so their clients feel it and not just come back, but it really creates raving fans out of your clients. It turns, and where the raving fans start, people think it starts with the clients, but I believe it starts within the organization itself. So what I'd like to do is helping shift communication and language within the organization, within the business, whether it's internal language that the CEOs and owners are telling within themselves, and really how they're portraying what they want to create with their business, so that the people in their business really wanted to grow for each other, for themselves, for their families, and really escalating and accelerating their life in business and in their personal lives. That's
45 seconds.
Making business a happy place is what I like to do.
Well, you seem very passionate about it. And I think when you're passionate about something, you end up being really good at it. And so who can I introduce you to? Like, what size companies fit what you're looking for?
Companies that I work mostly with is companies with 25 to 50 employees, with teams that are looking to expand and accelerate their internal actions, as well as the business that they do and their outreach and impact in the world.
Yeah. I'm a relationship guy, and in 3 minutes, you're an expert in your business. There's no way I could start giving you advice yet, but I would love to build on this relationship. And, I appreciate everything you're doing for everybody. And I look forward to becoming friends with you, and we'll see what happens next.
I would love that. That's great, Kel. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely speak afterwards for sure.
Craig, can this be a 3-judge? Because I wanna be on the tail end of this. Can this be a 3-judge?
Well, I do want to save some time because we still got 2 amazing people to go.
Craig,
But
I beg of you, this is a 3-judge, but Barb should go first.
Barbara, please Share with us. I mean,
Well, wow. I learned so much from you, Kel, just listening to you. And it was just really, really powerful. You drew him in, you created the bond. The way that you kind of asked for the sale was great. It was like, who can I introduce you to? And I'd be like, anybody, please, right? So, you know, you've clearly done this before. It was phenomenal. I got to give you a 9.5. I'm going big for you, man.
that's it, Barb. Thank you so much. I will allow Michael to jump in last. Ken, if you would jump in and share with us, please.
Cool, Kel. That was spectacular, brother. Awesome work. Yeah, you are a pro. I learned also, very much so. And you know, you had it all. You were, you know, maybe there's a slight micro distinction in like the level 5 listening that Sean talks about, but I would say you were at level 4, you know. You know, your love and connection was there, which was great. Reciprocity. Questions were short. I mean, I saw all 10 indispensable elements. Your energies transferred well. Spectacular job. I'll have to give you a 9.5 also.
All right, Mike, what's going on?
Mike
So
says
first of
beat
all,
me up now.
no. So listen, Kel, you absolutely stole this one. This was tremendous. However, I'm going to say that you stole it because you began trying to build emotional rapport before the clock even started, and it was pretty obvious. But nonetheless, like, you were just tremendous. Aces across the board, emotional transportation, vocal qualities, congruence. Your questions were tremendous. Awesome energy across the board. Just, you did so well. Like, it was mind-boggling. Just the whole 9 yards. Like, you are a master of your trade. Without a doubt, your influence skills are off the charts. Like, I was like smiling the whole time because you killed it, and you killed it in integrity. You just did a tremendous job. So I'm going to give you a 9.9 because I think you did a tremendous job. Tremendous. And Craig's been around.
I have to tell you, and I was getting distracted because I saw Mike's smile getting bigger and bigger as you spoke.
He killed it. Yeah. If it's conscious and trained, like, it was tremendous. If it's unconscious, he might be one of the best naturals I've ever seen. If it's untrained, he's one of the best naturals I've ever seen. That was off the charts. If I was in court with that guy, I'd be like, oh shit. I was like, this guy knows his stuff. Literally, oh shit. That would be my exact reaction. And then I'd kick your ass, but
I want you all to know that he did tell me on the phone. He said, well, in a situation like that, I would probably ask you to be yourself, you know? And I was like, okay. I didn't want to give him too much because I try to keep this a little bit of air of mystery. I think that's the fun of it. But I definitely also, Kel, thank you so much. And I think even the distinctions that Ken was talking about, and Mike might even back me up on here, the distinctions of the slightest distinctions of when you're connecting to me, just pulling in the pieces of what I'm missing, you know, like I said to Jeff, but even the slightest touching on that point would have had me, in real life, like Barb sitting in the back, like, I hope he helps me, you know, like,
Exactly.
But other than that, definitely, that was awesome. Thank you very much. And we're going to speak anyway, but thanks.
Yeah. Can I just add one more thing, Craig? Just because I think it's kind of interesting. I realized as Kel was talking that I do that same thing, except I've always done it in long strategy sessions. Like, I can sit in a meeting for 4 or 5 hours and do exactly what you did. At the very end, go, I figured it out. I know exactly what to deliver. I have 100% close rate in those instances. But how often do you get 5 hours, right? So I'm going to watch this tape over and over again to figure out, like, the compression of it was brilliant. So thank you.
Awesome. Okay, to follow that, and I love the energy that's gone up on here. Monique, you're here?
I get to go after him? Okay.
But I need the energy to jump up on this one. Definitely a tough act to follow, as Dylan said, but no doubt that you have this unlocked. You know exactly.
Awesome sauce. Okay. So I think what I'll have you do is you're a founder, a CEO, you're in Series B, probably funding. You're going to be going through hypergrowth right now. You notice two big distinguished problems that you're having. One, this is just we're in real time. So you notice a lot of your employees have come to you with a lack of diversity for your executives, as well as for your board members. And you also have noticed a huge trend of your retention slipping. So not only are you looking to actually hire new people because you've gotten funding, so you have about 30 to 40 positions open, you also are dealing with internal employees who are disgruntled now because they realize you have no real plan for diversity within your org. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. And it'll be a video chat. What I invited you to, which is a coffee chat. We both met previously via networking. So you had a meet and greet at your actual organization, and I met you there virtually. And we kind of introduced each other, and you told me to give you a chat sometime this week. So that's kind of what we're doing. How does that sound?
That's perfect, actually. I actually have dealt with this quite a few times in businesses I've worked with. So I have a little bit of experience in this. Please, let's jump right in.
Awesome. Hey, how you doing? Happy Monday. How's your coffee doing for you today?
Hey, Monique, I definitely need a pickup for sure.
Oh my God, right? Monday means 2 cups of coffee before 2 o'clock, right? That's usually me. But other than that, I just want to say I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to speak with me. I know you're incredibly busy. So I just want to say I really adored your meet and greet. I've met a lot of people and learned a lot about your organization, some of the things that you're challenging with right now. So tell me a little bit about why you decided to open up your company.
Well, we saw a need in the market. I saw that people were not connecting with each other inside of their businesses, and they were not recognizing what they really were trying to, how they wanted to impact the world, and they weren't transferring their desires and their passions to the people in their companies, in their organizations. So I decided to get it moving forward and build people up in that space.
Well, that sounds phenomenal. You know, purpose and passion and bringing people together is definitely something that we all strive for, but it definitely strive here at Arrington Case by Case. My whole thing is purpose, bringing people to obviously companies that are purpose driven. So with that being said, tell me a little bit about your internal problems with recruiting. As I noticed when we were doing the meet and greet, I spoke to a lot of your employees to get some information. And one of the things that I kept seeing was a lack of diversity. So tell me, what are your challenges with that right now?
It seems that the people that we were coming in contact with were all basically from the same background, from the same economic background, from the same just lifestyle. Everybody was coming to us, all living, all looking for the same thing, but it was only people that were within the same framework. And we're looking to expand that for sure.
What were your dreams when it came to starting your business? What type of person did you want? If you kind of bear with me, close your eyes, right? Close your eyes and tell me when you decided to go ahead and start this company, what type of people were you looking to actually be in your organization? Were they diverse? Give me a good understanding of what that looks like for you.
You know, it wasn't even a thought as to who or where they came from, who they were, what their background was. It was all about whether or not they wanted to impact the world and have an outreach that we wanted to create in the outside world. Sure.
Okay, open your eyes. Now that you know that your employees, the ones that currently work there, want diversity, are you interested in hopefully getting a roadmap on how you can actually bring diverse talent to you? What we do here at Arrington Case by Case is we specialize in bringing diverse talent to orgs. I always tell people this analogy. If you were looking for a skateboarder, you wouldn't go, oh, too long. I'm used to talking, guys. I'm a recruiter. Definitely.
It's no worries at all. That was great, Monique. That was great. I loved it. I guess my only issue was that I didn't give you a good company to have this issue with, because I would have started with all that. I apologize, but you definitely got it for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Let's jump in with Michael Smikin first.
So Monique, I I actually really enjoyed what you did. You have, and I don't mean to minimize it at all, but I have to tell you, like the feeling that it gave me was just this bubbly, very positive energy. And there's a magnetism towards that, especially if like you're in the cave or something all day long. And the first thing you hear is that beautiful, like positive ray of light, bubbly energy. It just infuses you and fills you up. And so I really, really enjoyed that energy from you. I thought you had a great congruence, like, you really believed in what you were doing. There was a wonderful energy behind it. I would have liked to see a little bit more energy variance. You use a little bit less of that positive fun energy, and a little more dialed into the types of challenges that and the pain that Craig's company would feel if he doesn't, enlist the services of what you have. Because while some people react super well to the positive, whenever you're asking people questions, they most want to talk about what's bothering them, what's challenging, negative. And so it's wonderful to be in that positive energy, but you may want to vary your energy a little bit when you get into the pain, because then now it's going to drive them more to you, because they're going to feel more about wanting to open up. So you've done wonderful and emotional before. I would have liked to see you do more on eliciting of the pain and vary your energy just a little bit. But all in all,
thank you.
Very positive. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give you an 8.5.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Mike. Barb, you want to weigh in here?
Man on me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that what Mike was saying is right on target. Your energy was off the charts and really, really beautiful. But agree a little bit of, I felt like if I was on the other end, I might at some point go, oh boy, take it down. Like, is she always going to be like that, right? So the energy variance solves that. Like, I'm sort of an uncaged spider monkey sometimes. So I've had to learn this, to just go, take your passion down just a little bit, right? And then the other thing I wanted to mention is I felt like, and it might have been the rush of the Real Raw, right? That you kept, when you asked him to close his eyes, which was perfect, and he had to envision his workforce, then you said, I noticed that you don't have a diverse workforce. There is something I will tell you as a white woman that I feel shamed when I hear that. And that's a challenge, because I'll be straight. I mean, I'd love to have this conversation with you offline, but it's how quick we go, oh God, that's right. Oh shit, I'm busted, right? And so like, how could you say that in such a way where it's like, having a more diverse workforce there can really attract new clientele for you? Like, what's the reason, aside from having to tick that box, there are a bazillion reasons as to why the workforce should be diverse. And I will say that, because I work in this world significantly, that people don't get it. They don't understand that. And that's something where you could really provide, not as their recruiter, education for them to understand the difference that it makes. And so that's just my thought on that. So I would give you an 8.5.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought you were fabulous. Just some little fine tuning on that messaging, I think would be great.
Definitely.
Very happy to talk to you.
All right, so thank you guys so much. And I think Mike's up or Ken's up. I'm not sure who's up next. Or did we do 2 already?
You did 2.
We did 2. Oh, okay, fine, perfect. So we'll jump in. Last one is Luciani. We only have 3 minutes left. Hopefully we'll get this in and make sure we end mostly on time. But Luciani, you're up. Monique, thank you again so much. That was really awesome. Who would you like me to be?
Well, I would like you to be an athlete who is at the prime of his career. And that's it. Just, maybe an athlete that is doing well right now that's not thinking about their future.
Awesome. Since I just played softball for the first time in 22 years on this past and I hit out twice and I missed the catch, I think I'm right in my prime. So we're good. Let's go.
So Craig, I am so excited and I'm so grateful for your time. I really was looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you better. So before I get going, I would love to know, is there something that's really exciting you right now? I know you're at your peak of your career. What's really exciting for you?
What's exciting for me is looking at what my future is going to look like, what I'm going to be able to provide for my family, and how many wins I'm going to be able to tack on and show the world that I can do.
That's amazing. Well, obviously, I know being an athlete is not an easy thing. I mean, I'm an athlete myself. Most people don't know this, but I did a little bit of bodybuilding, and confidentially for a while, I was North American champion. So I feel for you, and I know what's like to be training every day. I know what's like to have to worry about waking up 5 o'clock in the morning. So kudos to you, so much respect to you. Now, have you thought about what your life's going to be like post your career as an athlete?
I know a lot of people, a lot of guys on the squad always get into investing afterwards, a lot of times into real estate, and definitely into philanthropy. That's what I'm looking at, but where it's going to be, I'm not sure.
Got it. Well, I'm glad to be talking to you about it while you're at your peak, because I don't know if you know, 70% of athletes lose everything after they finish their career and they retire. And that actually leads to my mission, which is I want to be able to be the go-to person and trust advisor to be there for the athletes to be able to succeed and have an amazing life after the game. And I've seen a lot of them do well and a lot of them lose everything. And for that reason, one of the biggest asset that a lot of the athletes have been able to create and a great life after the game is by investing in real estate. Is there an agent that you currently work with that are constantly helping you and advising you as a resource?
There are some agents that I know that work with some guys on the team, but nobody that I'm directly connected to.
45 seconds.
What would you be looking for in an agent? I'll be so curious to know, because there's more people with their real estate license than with their driver's license out there. So what would you be looking for in an agent?
I'm looking for somebody who's going to ask me the questions that are going to listen to the questions that they ask me and the answers that I give, and want to be able to provide me what I'm looking for rather than what they want to give me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm grateful. I would love to have another meeting with you. I know you're short in time and we don't have a lot of time today, but if there's anything I can do for you, any questions, I consider me a resource. I can be there for you. There's absolutely no charge. I want you to bounce off ideas, or if there's anything I can do to support you, I want you to count on me. Okay. As a friend, more than anything.
Great. Thanks. We'll set up a call for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Luciani, perfect. Last one going in. It looks like we lost Ken, so we got Barb and Michael on here. Let's go Michael first, for sure.
I feel like I'm doing a whole lot of talking here today. I'm violating Ken's 2/3 rule for sure.
30 seconds.
Advantage. I already know you. I thought your energy was beautiful. I thought you did a tremendous job. I thought you were funny as heck. Is that true, by the way? Do more people have their real estate license than their driver's license?
I think so. It's pretty close.
So even if it wasn't, it was hilarious. So your fun energy is off the charts. Just everything was, I thought, really, really, really good. Great questions, great acknowledgements, great follow-ups. It was hard for me to really pick and listen to try to make some distinctions. But if I were to do anything, I think you spent a lot of time trying to establish emotional rapport, and you didn't have that much time left to try to get him to Craig to agreement formation. And so potentially just being mindful of that, but it's so hard. I've seen people do 99% of the conversation in establishing emotional rapport, and people fall over themselves wanting to give them work because all they want to do is work with them. So it's hard for me to say oh, I wish you'd spend less time in establishing emotional rapport. But if you had to do it in 3 minutes, you should have spent a little less time establishing emotional rapport and more time in agreement formation.
Can you give me an example? What would be an agreement formation if I were?
And I want to be cautious because I don't want to in any way influence you to do it the way that I do. but in varying your energy a little bit, getting more into a Zeus energy, more of a decision making, and say, so listen, look, I definitely want to spend more time talking. I know you're on a really short time frame. Can we speak at Tuesday? Anytime, I'll make myself available to you. And if Tuesday doesn't work, let me know the first availability you have, and I'll move my schedule around to get this done. And we'll spend 15, 20 minutes together and see if it makes it for a good fit. Does that work for you? Does Tuesday work for you? Right? And a little bit more into like driving them into making a decision right then and there with some specific actual timing, right? So like if you go, hey, let's talk, and they go, yeah, we'll talk next week. For me, that's usually not enough. And I say, what time, when, locked in, let's go, right? And so I want to go very Zeus in agreement formation, because when you're not in agreement, like absolutely, then you're in disagreement, and that's problematic for any relationship.
Great, thank you.
Barb, I want to be able to jump in here also, but I wanted to hear what you had to say.
I'll do real quick because I think Mike hit the main points. The only one thing I would say, because I think Mike's points were right on target, is be a little careful. I would recommend being a little careful with the joke, because what if his sister is a real estate agent? What's that old saying? You know, be kind to your fine feathered friends, because the duck may be somebody's brother.
Ooh, I like that. I've never heard that.
I've heard that one either.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah. My mom always taught me that. So I've had a very biting sense of humor all my life, and I've used it, and it's bitten me in the butt enough times to realize that until I know somebody, and I got to be really careful, because something like that, as much as I actually liked it, I thought it was great. It's like, oh God, what did I just trip over? You never know. And so until you know somebody, I personally lay off those kinds of jokes, as much as I love them. So yeah, I give you an 8.5. Great stuff.
Guys, that's amazing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, judges. Thank you to everybody who participated. You guys were really amazingly rocked. You have to know that 3 minutes really is a short amount of time. Luciana, I just wanted to jump in also with what Mike was saying. When I even said maybe something philanthropy, you know, that's something that could have also been an in to ask a very quick question, just what I would be passionate about. Because once you start talking about what somebody is passionate about, what really means something to somebody, then you can also another access point to what you can provide for them. And it can even be directly into where you really shine above everybody else. But
and philanthropy is something that I'm very passionate about too, but we didn't have enough time. But overall, I mean, the feedback is tremendous. I'm very grateful for this group, and I'm very grateful for the invitation as well.
And no, listen, I loved it. And obviously, I mean, I not only know you and love you and respect you so much for everything you've done and everything you've accomplished until now. This is like anything that I say is complete, and anybody here says is complete, what we call micro and sometimes even nano distinctions of shifts that people can make that can go from even a 9.9 to a 9.99. And as we know, financially, that's a huge, huge shift. So like I said, I appreciate it so much. I will reach out to everybody privately afterwards just to check on you guys. And I really just thank you so much for coming. Please, anybody, how'd you like it? Everybody gives a thumbs up. This was a good experience for everybody. Thank you again. So I love it. That's awesome.
Prepared.
You are going to UPW, I see. Nice. That's great. UPW virtual, you get those in the mail. But guys, again, seriously, thank you so much for participating. Anybody that you think might find value in this, in connecting with people in this way and having this open forum, please let me know. I would love to have a conversation with them and see where I can fit them in future conversations and future calls. And I look forward to speaking to everybody directly.
So Craig, it's always new people every week. Is that how it works? I know I've been to a couple.
Yeah. That's I mean, try to get when I find somebody that really is going to speak more into the listening of somebody else, I'll bring them on. I know Terry has been on one before, so I brought her on because I knew that she was going to match with a couple of people on here. But at the same time, I really I do want new people to have that opportunity as well, have the experience as well.
Great.
Sure.
Are you going to share everybody's contact information?
Yeah, everybody was in the chat. If there's anybody that you missed in the chat, please reach out to me that you want to connect to, and I will I'll put you on a message directly with them.
Okay, I'm going to put a link here with my digital business card, so if anybody wants to reach out.
Amazing. Amazing. Everybody, thank you guys so much. Mike, Barb, Terry, Nancy, Dylan, Cool, Kel, Jeff, Luciani, and Monique. I really appreciate you all so much for your time. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
That it is.
Thank you.